This week on Cantina Chronicles, we review the Maul Shadow Lord finale, episodes 9 and 10, Strange Allies and the Dark Lord. Let's go! Welcome to another week of Cantina Chronicles. This is a weekly Cantina crawl across the Star Wars galaxy where we have delightful discourse about all things Star Wars, including news, notes, and theory, synthesizing all media we contextualize. Your canon, we are your landing pad for all things Star Wars. Grab a seat and let's chop it up. Grant and Adam, Sigrona.
Sigrona Tima.
How are things going, guys? Welcome back for another week. We've got the Maul finale.
Yeah.
Did you have a fun Star Wars week? We had May the 4th on Monday.
That's
you guys,
right.
Do anything for the 4th?
I was going to, and then everyone got sick at my house, so no, I did nothing.
A little bit of the blood burn, the sort of deep space fever got us in our sector of the galaxy as well.
You guys with your younglings and your space ailments.
Yep.
You guys, did you watch a Star Wars? Did you do any sort of thing? You saw it on the... There's still the memes.
Did I watch the bare minimum for me? I think I texted you guys. Is I do watch Empire every May the 4th, and I always at least the third act if anything. But I did tune into Empire for a little bit.
Cool. You get anything, Adam? I know you were cooked.
No, I mean I watched them all. I watched them all on the day it dropped. So
right. Yeah.
Some Star Wars
it
counts, but no, nothing like celebratory.
That counts.
Yeah.
Yep. I watched them all. Also, super stoked to talk about the episodes. I did also go to the Boston Pops and see them play Star Wars music.
No, please tell us. We need to hear. We need to hear exactly what happened, what songs, what.
All right.
Yeah.
So these poor guys were supposed to go with me, but they both got sick. So yeah, my wife and I had 6 seats to ourselves, which is great. Yeah, we miscalculated the timing when it started, and our butts hit the seat just as the opening main title started playing.
Oh my god! So they knew you were coming, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah, and it was like just, which is fine. I missed the intro, which I
were lightsabers permitted. Did people have lightsabers?
No. Some people sort of dressed in pajamas, and some people dressed in suits. It is the Boston Symphony Orchestra.
It was just a classy
it's a big deal.
event.
Yeah, it was a classy event. They poured me about a liter of wine at set break, which was super classy, I thought. Yeah, it was special, guys. I don't get a chance to go to the BSO. You know, I'm a music nerd. I'm an acoustics nerd, and the Boston Symphony Orchestra is one of the best sounding venues in the world of all time. There's only 3 venues like it. One's in Vienna. The Vienna
talented orchestras, right?
It's a Boston Pops.
Yeah,
Keith Lockhart, who's kind of an all-star, was the director, and the maestro. And it was
so
great.
Did you get you probably got Imperial March, but did you get Droid Invasion? Did you get some prequel of?
We did actually. So they played the Flag Parade of all songs, which has the Droid Invasion March in it. It's like a little medley-ish. And that was the first song they played, actually. But they did sort of go through it chronologically. They had a narrator, a local actor named Jeremiah Kissel, do the narration in between songs. And it was really fun. It made it fun, but the music was banging. It just slapped. Off the top, like I really wanted to hear the Return of the Jedi, and they attack on
the staccato stuff on the sail barges, like the
I was either hoping for the throne room music, or I was hoping for what they played was Parade of the Ewoks? No. The Forest Battle, which I think is it. You know what? But I really wanted the music from the fight above Endor. And they did, I think that's where you find it, is the Forest Battle, because they kind of juxtapose between those two battles. So we got a little of that, and that was great. But actually, they played the Ewok theme, and I was like, oh, it slapped hard. It was actually quite good.
That
they
is a
played
fascinating song in terms of like the different instruments that are at play.
it's pretty funky. You know, I like a funky like symphonic affair. They played. I didn't think they would, but they played Duel of Fates, and they didn't have any singers.
Interesting.
So,
What does
and
that
they didn't
sound like?
they didn't like arrange it.
Huh.
So it was cool, but I mean, chorus is kind of the main event.
What does it? It's what makes it a thing. Yeah.
I do want to hear it
Yeah.
without the chorus now that you mentioned that, but the chorus is sort of the heart of that whole thing.
Yeah. And it's like, this isn't, I mean, it's mildly, there's parts of the orchestra that are amplified, but it's really not amplified. So it was like kind of a quiet show, but like, when they hit, you could hear everything beautifully, but it wasn't, I'm used to like concerts where I'm getting blasted into the back wall.
Right.
And that's a song I want to get blasted into the back wall, but really no notes. It was, every song was a treat. I could have watched it for 6 hours. So, even my wife was like, that was really cool. And, it was special. It was a fun time. I definitely would do again. If you get a chance to see that, do it.
Yeah. Hopefully come around. Hopefully do it again next year.
Yeah. We should try it again. I mean, I don't know how many more times they're going to do it,
Right.
but it was a blast.
That's awesome.
So, glad we did that. But yeah, so I hope you had a good May the 4th at home. To our listeners, I hope you did something special. It's like a little bit of a down year, but they gave us this Maul finale, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a down year just because there's like a first time in a long time a movie's coming out in like 2 weeks, so they don't want to do too much. You know what I mean? So it felt very reserved for May the 4th. I think that's why. Yeah.
My hype meter's just been ratcheting up. I feel like with the Filoni and Lin-Manuel Brenner taking over, I feel like there's a lot that we're gonna get in the future. It's gonna be lots of new projects. It's exciting. I think we're in an exciting time.
Yeah. As a Browns fan, I would say we're in a rebuilding year.
Oh, bro. Don't you dare compare the Browns to Star Wars.
Browns. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
I could make some parallels, but I won't on a podcast.
Nope. Who's Myles Garrett? Wait, no, we're not doing this.
Who would be Myles?
Tony Gilroy.
Yeah.
He was the 100%.
Yeah, I'm stoked for Mandalorian. I'm stoked for what's to come. And I love the show. I think if this show's an indicator of what might be in the pipeline, I think they cared a lot about character development, and I thought they made animation human, I think is like my overall takeaway from this. And they really put humanity and vulnerability into the show. Like, I think that's why, Maul was constantly like struggling with his legs. Like, it just made him more of a, sympathetic character, and little details like that. I think that's where they go. It's like, we can only make the animation look so beautiful. We really need to start looking back and sort of like, what are we doing with these characters and with the acting and with the script. And I thought I took a step forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was impressed. I also, we'll talk more about this, but I was trying to figure out the leg stuff too, right? Because we commented on it for like the past, I don't know, 5 episodes. Feels like there was a leg thing going on for most of the season. And I wonder, I mean, we'll spoil stuff.
Ian Zellens.
Exactly, right?
Big time, yeah.
Definitely.
And I wonder if it was also trying to remind us that he's also half machine, or possibly more machine than man, right? So I feel like it was a kind of a deft foreshadowing a little bit to something I was not expecting to see in season 1. I was kind of, we'll talk about it, but I was shocked with that reveal. I was just like, no, I thought it was gonna be a giant creature coming out of the mist. I was not expecting what we got.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun to actually look at the cyborg sort of storyline for Maul and Vader side by side.
Yeah.
And sort of just and really look at like who's more machine than man, right? Vader seems to be more machine now at this point. He's more of just a killer robot. Whereas Maul, there is this breath of humanity still there, and you are seeing it on the outside in this episode. And he's making good choices, but he's being heroic. And then obviously he's also a Sith at the end of the day. Until
he's not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. should we start sort of in let's just start in 9. We had Strange Allies. Yeah, not a ton to say here, but I feel like I kind of want to do this thing chronologically because it does crescendo. So no Paul Bettany.
Nope. Shocking. Because literally I don't know if it's happening right now, but it had to happen concurrently when he was actually doing Vision Quest, the show about Vision that's going to come out.
So he was like there. Paul.
Maybe he was too busy doing that. I don't know. Like, but it's like, come on, you couldn't get him in a closet for like an hour.
Yeah,
That's
it's like this Dryden Voss is so much less sneering than sort of what his Dryden Voss was all about, and I miss that. The extra jab, the sort of biting Dryden Voss. This one felt nice, and again, there's this imperative of like he needs Maul, and I didn't really understand why, other than Rentaro and taking out Rentaro. But like I kind of didn't understand the Dryden motivation.
Agreed. They didn't really build that much, right? In terms of like, I need him for reasons. Like, okay, cool. Well, like maybe we'll find out those reasons next season.
He's like saw what happened with the Pikes, and then he's just signing up to simp for Maul. He's like, that's great. Like,
he sees that deal.
You kill my boss, I take over. I help you out. You help me. Done and dusted. Like,
and I think the last time we talked about Dryden, we miscalculated that Maul has possibly already met Dryden and sort of already dealt with Crimson Dawn in the past, right? Like there's a whole background of Maul already running the Shadow Collective. So that's like a huge piece that I don't think we talked about enough. I have some theories for where I think the Dryden Maul stuff's going, but we can do it at the very end.
Yeah. Let's kind of get through some of these beats because there's some fun stuff in there, and we've been sort of slap dab all season on this, but I'm feeling this right now. I'm trying to remember who's the name of the Crimson Dawn head?
Rentaro.
Rentaro, yeah, which is a familiar name, but they all kind of are at this point, right?
It's like it sounds like it's out of a Star Wars name generator. So who knows? It's like very Star Warsy. Yeah, very Star Warsy. But
I assume this was the Michael K. Williams character, like the lion. Character. That's what I assumed when I heard that. Good call.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool if they did that and they got Michael K. Williams to do the voice. If you don't know what we're talking about at home, we talked about
Michael K. Williams sadly passed, but somewhat, if it's just the same character, but essentially, and a tribute to him in the episodes, just sort of like keeping that idea alive.
Yeah,
it was a cool concept art for a sort of crime boss.
Yeah,
for Crimson Dawn. If you have the solo art up books, you've seen those concept books.
Yeah, and that like tiger species is just awesome, and
it's so cool.
This is a great place to do it. I hope they do that. That makes sense. But Maul knows who that is, and it would make sense that Dryden wouldn't be able to defeat someone that was that species himself, no matter how much Terraskasi he knows. Unless we see Maul training Voss in Terraskasi, which would be kind of fun for me. Yeah.
I can't believe they don't remake the Terraskasi video game. I can't believe they don't remake that game. And just sort of like Maul, Ahsoka, Devin, cool characters.
Yeah, I forget the name of the Rise of the Red Blade character, but she would be fun in that. For like, they made it for hardcores, and they're just like, no, these characters exist, and you're like, where are they? And then it leads you into reading books and doing fun things.
So cool, yeah. Just like Arcade Fighter, basically.
Yeah, Cal Kestis should be in there. That'd be sweet. Sarah Jin.
Totally.
Yeah, just like all those characters, and really like every character has like an alt. It's like a crazy force alt.
Yeah.
Why don't you get Spider Maul at some point?
Spider Maul's like an unlockable. He's like a secret character.
Unlockable. It'd be a DLC. Cost you $18.
Yeah, that would be fun. So we see some different things. We see Maul using telepathy for the first time. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I really liked him doing that. It's sort of like Luke and Leia,
drawing Devin and
giving her Force vision, a little hearkening towards like it's a beginning concept of what he does with Ezra Bridger with much more effect later on. So he looks kind of decrepit in Rebels, but like his Force power, he's like nearly like astral projecting like Luke was at that point. So
I wonder, because we often talk about like, why is he like acting so old and decrepit, decrepit, right, in that whole scene. I wonder if we're gonna get that figured out here in terms of like when things go bad with Devin, as they eventually will. Maybe this is the lesson he learned, is he needs to weirdly become more vulnerable, or like weird. Like it'll be interesting to see if there's, knowing Filoni, he'll try to retcon it a little bit, or at least explain it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he operates with the tool set that Palpatine gave him, and Palpatine was his role model, and he naturally should become like more sort of decrepit and fragile and sour and all controlling, right? Like he should be more like Palpatine over time, almost like a scheming character. Feels like that makes sense. It's just like that's who his role model was, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
Very cool. So there was this scene, there's an awesome scene, like the action and all this. I'm here for the action. Like I don't care.
That's very good.
The action's great in the show. But they're, they run into it. They're trying to escape the city. Obviously an alliance is formed. They're trying to escape the city, and they run into that Imperial checkpoint, complete with an ATST.
Yeah.
And just Maul just steps out and runs into the fray.
That was such a good scene. That was heroic. So this is Maul sort of being heroic in the beginning of the episode. I felt a lot of heroics coming from Maul. Which was interesting.
It was amazing. It's almost the closest thing to like an 80s action scene where the person's walking away from an explosion and not reacting to it. It was like
exactly that.
It was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was like the anime. Yeah, like sliced legs, and then I think he just cuts the cockpit and explodes, and it like cuts to Daki and Devin being horrified. They're like, "Oh my god, he just like murdered the AT-ST pilot."
I thought I
was like, "Oh my god."
My read on it on my second viewing, and like I'm furiously typing while I'm watching on my second viewing, was that Devin kind of swooned a little.
Really? I felt
pure
horror,
right? Yeah,
pure horror.
I felt pure horror. Yeah,
is that what you thought?
Outright murdering the guy in there. There's like a dude in there, right?
I mean, he murdered like 100 dudes on the way to that ATST.
Yeah,
like,
so
that's
Devin
the point.
has taken down some stormtroopers. I could see it both ways, but I felt more it was like the beginning of her seeing a use for Maul. Like, yeah.
I mean,
it's a great feat too, to destroy a vehicle like that. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, totally. The Battlefront 2, like throw the double-bladed lightsaber and call it back to your hand, and just like let it just like wood chip through whatever.
There are some scenes in this episode that are just, the action is exactly what I've been waiting for a very long time, which is like, we'll talk about it when we get to like the toxic sludge, but like there's something that Maul does that I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is so cool. Like I like this idea of sort of like, they get into it in the Rise of Skywalker a little bit with sort of Rey's acrobatics, but I think there's a lot you can do with the acrobatic stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible.
So we see Riley picks up an E11 for the first time. We see him holding the gun.
This is comedy for like for the next like 2 minutes. It's like
pew pew.
Detective Lawson sort of like telling Riley how to use the blaster, how not to use it or to not use it at all. But then Riley's like a sick shot with the stun, and you're just like, oh, don't stop this kid. This kid's disgusting.
You mean sports?
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. He's doing sports.
Yeah. That's right.
Exactly.
He's been training for it without knowing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bodkin, or whatever he plays.
Yeah, Bodkin. Yes. Yeah. There. All right. So then we get to my favorite quote from both of these, which is Rook goes. They're like, walking away, trying to get to the escape, and Rook sort of, they're having their side conversations. Lawson's like, they're going to betray us immediately to Two Boots. And then we flash to Maul and Rook is like, what are we going to do about the old man? And he goes, have some respect, Rook. He's a Jedi master.
Yeah.
That was for me, that was, I got ejected from it for like a second there. I was like, would Maul say this? And all my sort of like, character relay systems were firing off and trying to decide whether that was like possible or not. And I was like, no, he can say it, because I guess he's had his time with Ahsoka, and he's had insight into the Jedi a little bit and dealt with the Jedi as a prisoner.
Yeah,
and I think
got
maybe
chopped in half by a Jedi.
Yeah. I don't know. Or at the same time, it was a little fourth wall breaky for a second there. I was like, wow, this is. I don't know if this character would do that. Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I know what you mean, Grant. I was okay with it after I thought about it for a while too, because there's like he's growing, right? Like we're actually seeing Maul growth, right? And he is like we haven't seen him in leader mode, really, if you think about it very much. Like we saw him like take over Mandalore and all that stuff, but this seems like he actually, I don't know. He seems like we talked about more. He seems more Palpatine now than before. Like he's scheming and he's thinking about it and he knows the risks that are out there. I don't know. I kind of like that. I kind of like this Maul.
Yeah,
Getting behind him.
I honestly think he kind of likes Docky too.
Mm-hmm.
Docky's just pure. He's not grandstanding. He's just has his beliefs, and he's like, and he speaks his mind, and he speaks plainly to Maul.
Yeah. Apart from Ahsoka, is this the most time he's ever spent with a Jedi? If you think about it, has he spent any time talking to Jedi?
Not that I can remember. There might be some. No, he's never had a like buddy cop, like scene with a Jedi. I don't think.
Yeah,
but I mean, some of this could be coming from Sidious, like in his training was sort of like he was designed as a Jedi killer, and I mean, maybe he was taught to respect the Jedi and not overestimate them. I don't know. That doesn't really sound like Sidious. Sidious is more like crush everything in front of you. But yeah, I'm more inclined to sort of go with what Adam said, where it's like we're seeing a little bit of growth from him. But I believe him. I think he's being earnest there. And I liked it.
Yeah. I think people underestimate the Maul. Like I think Maul learns from his failures because each time he fails at something, he kind of gets it right again. That's what's fun about the character. You like watching the character because he oftentimes does get back into a corner. Or
I think it's a good point.
I'm going to push the boulder up this way.
Yeah,
that's the thing, right? I was thinking about the same thing. It's like it's not quite Sisyphus because Sisyphus does the same thing over and over again, keeps failing. He keeps doing something different and then keeps failing. It's almost more frustrating. Like he's like keeps learning from his mistake and then it doesn't matter. The next time it rolls right back over him for a different reason. Like he can never actually figure it out. Yeah.
We see 11th Brother has psychometry. I meant to mention this like 3 episodes ago, but it's just worth mentioning. Psychometry is the force power that Cal Kestis has, and Ahsoka Tano has actually. That's sort of where they can sort of see a physical object and touch it and understand its history and sort of what's happened there. It's like an advanced tracking thing.
And
I'm
perhaps
convinced
that scene was incredible too. When they sense them and they're like, they're making their escape or whatever. I was like, these guys are scary. I really like the writing with Marok or whatever.
Yeah,
does Rey have that? Because I think about it, right? She touches the lightsaber in episode 7 and has that flash. And does she have the flash when she touches the dagger in episode 9? So she has that.
She just says like terrible things were done with this.
Yeah,
she has it.
Because there were a bunch of terrible things as we read in that novel.
Yeah.
Dark Side Rise. What was the name of it? With
the Shadow of the Sith.
Shadow of the Sith.
Luke and Lando, right? The Luke and Lando story. Yeah.
Yeah, great book. But I think it's cool. I wish we kind of found out his real name. I think my theory from last week has been fully disproven. Well, I guess we'll get to that. But I just kind of, if Marok has a name, we didn't get it in this in this series, but maybe he gets his name later.
Are you ever supposed to get these characters? These characters really matter that much? I feel like
they do to me.
Okay.
Especially in in this era where it's really, really early days.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm always interested. Ever since the Grand Inquisitor, they kind of revealed that he was a temple guard. I think that's fascinating to be like, what were some of these Inquisitors' connections? Were they ex-Jedi? Were they just Force sensitive? Like what, I find it fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. Were they this sort of like weird dark side holding pen or like, the cult or something? How cool was the scene? So they catch up to our alliance here. Marok and 11th Brother, First Brother, 11th Brother.
This is my favorite stuff. When they when they're just running down the tunnel, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so like these Inquisitors, they don't just like make dramatic entrance and step in from like stage right. They are booking it full speed down a tunnel.
Yeah.
With sabers already ignited, and they're just jumping straight into battle. They're pouncing. Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen that before, and I love how they set it up where, of course, Daki sensed it first, and he turns around, and they're like, yo, what? And then they're like, bing, 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 3 lightsabers ignite, and then it's just like, boom, it's on. They're running at them. That was
Daki, to his credit, has his lightsaber. He ignites his lightsaber and immediately goes to confront them. Right when he senses it. And I thought that was a cool moment. I really like that. And that's just a powerful moment in Star Wars, a sort of precognition of a Jedi and understanding something's about to happen, and they're getting into place 10 to 15 seconds before anything happens, and everyone's like, why are you standing there? And I love that stuff.
Yeah. I love Daki on the whole. I think he's ridden.
Daki was very cool.
Yeah, I agree. I also feel like just that whole scene of watching 5 Force users fighting each other at once was extremely dynamic. And also there was maybe it's low-hanging fruit, but I really got kind of the tingles when it was just like a red blade and a green blade or blue blade working together. Like there was something so fascinating about, like, have we seen that before? Like just against another thing. I don't know. I'm like, that's really interesting.
There's a moment when everyone's doing a downward slash and everyone's blocking from underneath, and it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen, just depicted in a frame.
Yeah, when they like freeze 5 lightsabers, they're like at the same moment.
Yeah,
that's sick.
That scene was unreal. Yeah.
Really amazing.
And then we get a lot of deaths, and perhaps the saddest death in the entire thing. We lose Spybot.
Did you catch his last word?
Okay. Yeah.
Master.
Yeah.
Oh, Spybot.
Yeah, and Maul felt it. Maul
was like, oh, ah.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Okay.
The droid was awesome.
That motivates him more than his like quote unquote brothers dying. I feel like
that is so wild though when Maul fights them and then he jumps across the sludge. Basically, like they're like, no one can make this jump, and then Devin can make it, and then Maul makes it, and they throw their saber at him right when he does the jump.
Yeah,
and he knocks it back and sort of like continues the jump, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, this is very cool. The framing of that, the blocking of that was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so great. That was like sort of the triumph moment for Maul, and then things go sideways. That was a great escape. There was a moment before that too where actually Maul tries to have a dialogue with Marok, and he's like, Sidious is twisting your mind. He expects you to die just like me. And I wanted more of that, but it's like, because it's like,
he's like, you're just pawns. You're just Sidious's pawns or whatever. Just like I was or something.
Yeah. And I honestly think like Maul was kind of playing the Jedi role there. And like maybe he felt himself getting, because like Dun Mok is like, you're nothing. I'm going to defeat you. All your friends hate you. Your mother never loved you. Like it's just like just getting under your skin while you're like fighting. But like he's actually reasoning with Marok and being like, dude, you're being played.
Yeah.
Just like I was being played, and you shouldn't, it was just, again, it was like one line. And it didn't work. And then the guy killed Spybot right after that. And he was like, all right, I'm not doing that. I'm not reasoning anymore. I feel full rage. And
and we'll talk about rage and anger, and then his whole philosophical confrontation with Daki about choosing anger to be unpredictable. And Daki saying, no, we must stay calm. We must use our cunning. I think Daki even says cunning at some point, which I think is part of the Jedi. That's what I like the most about the Jedi. Sort of that.
I love that line.
That sage cunning sort of aspect.
Yeah,
we got calm and your cunning to solve it versus anger. I loved that whole thing.
Me too. So there's another moment in the show that 100% proves this show is not for kids, which is maybe most of it, but like the death of his brothers, who where like he gets shot 7 times by blasters and then throws throwing knives into the skulls of stormtroopers, and then tackles them and dies in the muck, in the acid muck.
In the acid, it got burned alive. Yeah, in his last move, he kills 5 stormtroopers. Yeah, in that last foray.
And the body count of stormtroopers at this point is like 58.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's insane. This episode's crazy. That's how you know it's maybe not for kids.
Dude,
like there's
so many lightsabers through torsos. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I really liked Maul's initial cadre. I think it's going to go down in lore as one of the greats. The Zabrak and the various Mandos and Rook and Spybot. They for this whole season, they were just owning everybody. Ripped.
Yeah.
It was like a perfect ensemble.
Rip Spybot.
Yeah. Rip Spybot. Yeah. So then we and Maul lets Docky cross first. I'm just still likes Docky. He's like go, let me handle this. And
it's still heroic mode, and I don't know if it's for Docky or for Devin to earn trust, sort of Devin.
I wonder too. I wonder if he needed to try to line up the perfect death for Docky, right? That would influence in a way. So I agree. I guess that's what I'm really liking about Maul in a show is I'm not sure what his motivations are at any given moment, or when he's being sincere and when he's being manipulative. And I'm really enjoying.
He's like Palpatine. He's like a last minute backstab character where he might be nice to you for a period of time, but there's a definite backstab coming.
Yeah, just wait for it.
He's Palpatine 2.0, if sort of character.
Another part. So we're just talking about this scene now because there's so many things. But another part I loved was before Maul's escape, he switched lightsaber styles, and he detached his double blade and then went into dual wield.
Dual wield. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
so
that was
cool,
great.
Yeah.
Just to switch it up.
Ahsoka almost. That's where I was like, when he fails, he learns, or when he got captured and he met Ahsoka, did he learn? Did you see how she fights? And was he like, I can do that? Because his stance at the very end was pure Ahsoka.
Right. It was very Ahsoka, wasn't it? Maybe he studied it. Maybe that was when we saw him practicing, he was sort of working on her style and was like, oh, that's awesome. Because that's what Maul would do, right?
He would watch her as she's fighting and be like, oh, I want to try that myself, the way she's holding the blades or whatever.
He's got that number one draft pick mentality where he's in the film room when he's not playing, and then when he's not playing, he's back at the film room. He's always working on getting better.
Totally.
I love that. It was great. I mean, it was very video gamey, but awesome. That's gonna make the next video game great.
I mean, it's just needed, if you ask me. It's not about it being awesome or not. It's if you're doing Jedi stuff and you're not sort of at least trying to achieve some of this sort of blocking and acrobatics, I don't think you should do it.
No, especially
we need that stuff.
It's so hard to do in live action if you're not doing it in a film, right? So sorry, in live action TV, the closest we got was The Acolyte, which I still think was massively dumb, that episode, that lightsaber episode. But
Chimera Stranger fight was.
But I love that they're taking advantage of the animation. They're showing us stuff that we haven't seen since the prequel trilogy, right? This felt closer to prequel trilogy lightsaber fighting than anything that came after.
And that said, I do like the slower OT stuff too, samurai film sort of homage.
Sure.
I do like that too.
So I grew up. We got our fair share of that too. I mean, can you even believe how much lightsaber we got in this series?
Yeah,
every episode.
This finale is
wild.
Insane.
Yeah,
and then we get to the the finale, and it's all a battle. There's one more thing. So this is important. We talked about this a little bit on just on text before this. And I'm very interested in the theory that Rookcast is actually the armorer from The Mandalorian. And it's a theory. This may kibosh it, but we see at the end of this, Rook goes on to scout ahead. She comes back. Obviously, the red shirt Mandalorian that she brought with her is dead. And she's like, there's something out there, or someone out there, someone.
Then,
someone right out of the mist. And then she's a little wounded. And then you hear a roar, an animal roar. And then you hear she gets dragged off.
She comes out of the mist. No, she comes out of the fog, gets pulled to the floor, ripped to the floor, and dragged into
pulled back into the mist.
Pulled back into the fog. Yeah.
But I'm talking about audio cues only. Before she gets grabbed back into the fog, you hear a roar. Mm-hmm. Then the drag and the scream. Then you hear a bone crunch.
Yeah, you hear a neck snap or
and then you hear
spine crack.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Do you think that roar something Vader was doing, or was it something Filoni was doing as a little misdirect right before the big reveal?
I think misdirect because it worked on me. Because
it worked on me too.
I was like, what? We're gonna get our big monster fight. I was literally waiting for that, and then so I'm guessing it's a misdirect, but I don't know.
I assume she was dragged away and killed in the mist, but I don't know.
Possibly, but any death that doesn't happen on screen isn't a death, right? So
maybe that was her wrist or her
or getting thrown against a tree that snapped or something. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like,
I'm not really even rooting for Rook to be the armor. I actually think it would be cooler if she wasn't.
Yeah.
But
after season 3 of Mandalorian, I have no idea about the armor. I'm done guessing about the armor. I was so wrong during season 3 of the Mandalorian that I'm just done.
But also, she's not like a devout Mandalorian in that like she has to keep her helmet on all the time. So like, I don't think she's the armor.
No,
the armor needs to be
right. Like we're still
unless something else happens and like that Maul, like some miracle that Maul performs that like gets her to sort of think about it that way.
I think just the siege of Mandalore must radicalize a lot of Mandalorians.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yeah. And she was definitely Death Watch, but we just don't know who that is. And I think that's great. Honestly, it's just like, it's someone else. Like you didn't see that. There's a lot of Death Watch and you didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm okay with never being told, her backstory or anything. I'm kind of, since we're talking about Vader, I think this entrance might be top 3 Vader entrances.
Okay.
Like, I think number 1 is Rogue One, which is weird for me to say, but I still think that's the first Vader one. And I think number 2 is Episode 4, like his initial entrance. And then, like, I think this is number 3 for me. Like, I think it was so well done.
Yeah, the jungle environment and the dense fog was chef's kiss, honestly.
Yeah, and just the horror
and his
movie
silhouette coming out of that.
Away and then,
my God. Yeah. Like, that's the poster. Like, that was just gorgeous.
And just like the films, he's like shot from below.
Yeah, he's like 7 feet tall. You're just like, oh my God. Like, like, it's just, and it was just fascinating because I was like, oh, this silhouette and this visage and this sort of concept for a villain is just iconic. It's going to be indelibly be around forever, and people are going to be, mesmerized by Vader for a very long time. And he's almost like the symbol of fascism in a lot of ways. Like just this dark, mechanical, strangely ornately armored sort of like cyborg death machine. It's like, this is it's a terrifying prospect. It's almost like a weapon of mass destruction.
I mean, it is very SS coded, right? If you think about it in terms of the black and the armor and the way it does. And I was looking at this and it's like, the Inquisitors look cool. Like Marok, I love his look. I think it looks cool. Chimera looks cool. All these things look cool. Still 50 years later, Vader is one of the scariest figures, right? Like it's still, even comparing him in this to some of the other ones, he's still extremely intimidating, even compared to the Inquisitors. I think it's fascinating.
Yeah. Though the designs are improving.
Mm-hmm.
I think, the Sith designs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he looks way more intimidating than he did in Rebels, right? And like,
I mean,
in the first
for other Sith and stuff, but yes. Oh, absolutely. I think this is far and away. Like, I
love
the homage to Macquarie that they did in Rebels.
Yeah,
but it was an homage, and it was a stylistic choice, and I love that. But yeah, this
Vader felt beefy. Like this was a beefy Vader, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. He moved more like Vader, and
Vader's also that death walk. Like he has this death walk basically. Where Vader, I don't think ever runs at you, or he's not moving very quickly. He's just sort of this one speed. He's in first gear, but it's a powerful
Jason
Voorhees. Exactly. He's just a slasher horror. He's a slasher horror. Character. That's like the way he moves, and you just can't be in his way. It's like a sort of cement roller. It's like you're just gonna. It's not gonna go well.
Yeah. So we're speaking of rolling, we're rolling into the Dark Lord, episode 10.
Yeah, that was the cliffhanger. Him coming out of the jungle. Amazing.
And so we get the fight, and it's 3-on-1, and it's not close.
No, not at all. Like it's
Yeah, and they even like there's so many of them, they can't all fight him at the same time. It's only like 2 can slash at him at the same time, and still it's just like no hope. He's got one blade, and he's just like parry, 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 slash, 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 force push, and you're all smoked, and like, woof, which is great. And you know
he's
that
fighting
like,
with one hand as well.
yeah,
we should probably
Yeah.
that's what
he does a, I guess Luke does, but he does a Luke move with
the
Maul.
tomahawk chop.
Yeah, where it's just where episode 6, right, where Luke is just hitting Vader so hard with the lightsaber and overpowering him, right? And like, it's just fascinating watching Vader do that to Maul. And I'm like, oh, like father, like son, or like son, like father.
Yep, he does it
the
again.
Skywalker overhand.
Yeah.
He does it to, he does it to all three of them.
Yeah. And Maul is scared in that scene when you see his face, like when he's getting like overpowered by Vader. It's rare to see that man scared, and I appreciate that. It's really
yeah.
I mean,
that's
one
a great job showing Vader's strength. I was like, Vader is just way overpowering Maul.
Yeah, and like, don't forget about like Sith aura, to use a term of the kids, but like it's real. It's just like you feel when a Sith is in your presence, and it's not a good feeling. And you just, all I sense is fear and dead men.
There's also a fascinating sort of like chronological ripple here where it's like Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn, who's like, almost like essentially was the father that Anakin never had. And what does that mean for their relationship? Does Anakin know Maul's identity? Did he read the data log? Like, does Maul know who's under that armor? He goes, what are you? He like, obviously, it's like at one point while fighting him, and then later on, I think he says a line like, if I'm correct, he knows the way of the Jedi. Like he almost suspects that Vader is Jedi.
Anakin. Yeah. But I love what you said about like, what about the other way? Like, does Vader know? Like, does
he must
Anakin
have read the
recognize?
File, right? He must.
He must have read the file.
They met as he was a kid. Remember, Anakin down,
and
like he knows who Maul is.
Yeah, no, he knows, which is fascinating. And I wonder, with Maul, they've done so much of his. I'm trying to say, Ben, you've been focusing on how much he's been changing styles and lightsaber styles, and how much he seems informed in lightsaber styles. And I wonder if he's going to start putting something together of having fought and being chopped in half by Obi-Wan, right? And I wonder
the master of Vader. Yeah.
But Vader also read the file, because Vader's first move is just to destroy a servo in Maul's hip, like immediately.
Yeah.
And then and essentially cripple Maul. And it's fascinating in that moment, because when I saw that happen, I go, oh, Vader's a tormented soul. Like he's in constant torment. And so he's going to find your weakness and sort of exploit that as well. Your torment, or whatever your weak point is, he's going to exploit that and cause you pain, because he's suffering, right? He's always suffering.
Well, I feel like we learned in the comics, it's a little bit of a sine wave where, over between, the rise of the Empire all the way up to Return of the Jedi, he sort of is like more dark side and then a little wavery and then more dark side. And this is, we know from the comics, he's very dark side right now.
Yeah.
And, he's getting after that. But you just have to, like, it's
just
he's
also heartbroken as a character. Like there's a lot of emotional suffering, really.
He's still grieving his wife
of the death of his wife and kid in his mind. Child.
His hatred towards his father figure and Obi-Wan, like, and then he knows, like, Obi-Wan beat you, I can beat you. Like, I think that's what
I felt when he was fighting Maul too. Is I felt like Vader was sort of like show me what you're capable of, because I know you were a Sith Lord or something. And then he's like just waving his wrists around and just blocking everything the Maul has, and kind of minimal effort.
Yeah. I mean, it was the ultimate like nerdgasm, right? Like Vader was amazing. Maul. And but it just like, if there's no more speculation, it's sort of like Vader is a tier above. And granted, it's only half a Maul, but maybe in his prime, fully formed, it'd be different. But you're looking at Anakin, and it's half an Anakin. So
right. I appreciate that. Like, Maul is the protagonist of the show, and I think creators would have been very wanting to give him a win, right? Or show him.
Yeah.
And I think he gets one touch on Vader. Isn't there like one lightsaber
Docky
singe?
does.
Docky
Docky gets
does.
one.
Does. You're right. It's Docky.
singe
It's
on
not even
Vader.
right. You're right. So
Which would have
Maul
cut
gets-
the arm off a human.
I thought
Yes.
Docky could kill. I thought Docky could take out Vader.
Oh,
if
Docky was
Maul just
definitely
went
was
full on
more-
in, and there was no
Yeah.
Inquisitors. I was like, I think Docky,
Yeah.
if he just had some support.
Maul
Yeah.
never had any chance, and through the entire fight, never had any moment of even a slight victory. Like, I think he stops Vader's lightsaber with the Force power like once,
Yes.
and then I think it
That
gets
was
immediately
such a cool
choked and
scene.
thrown. like you know,
But
so
that
it's
was
like,
so that. Oh my goodness! That,
Yeah.
you're bringing up possibly one of the coolest things I've ever seen, which is essentially there's like a saber lockup,
yeah,
but instead of them using their sabers to block the other saber, they're like catching the blades essentially, and
Yep.
then Vader just like throws everyone, chokes Maul and throws him, and it's just like it's an insane moment of action.
I knew you'd love that, Grant. I was like, oh, Grant
So
loves
good.
this so much. The
I
only
like it
thing
because
better-
it's different. It's fun. It's interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was great, and I kind of felt like Maul learned the move in that moment, where like he had his blade blocked, and he's like, "You can do that," and then he blocks Vader's blade, being
Yeah.
like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can do this." Yeah. So he's learning from a real master, and he knows sort of what he's up against, which is Vader is a microcosm of the whole, or is emblematic of the whole Inquisitorius, right? It's a lot of fallen Jedi that have just like gone someplace weird and bad, or been taken someplace weird and bad, and yeah,
Right.
it was great. That was all a cold open, by the way, and then we get Duel of
God.
Fates under the
Oh
title.
my god.
Yep.
Yeah. I know. It was like a full on battle happens, and then just like episode title card. And I was like, oh my god, we have so much more fighting.
I mean, that's
There's
the
gonna be so much
entire episode is just one big battle, right? And it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
very similar if you think about to the to the Acolyte episode, right? Of just telling storytelling, plot moving during a 20-minute lightsaber battle. Like,
Yeah.
great.
The Acolyte and this show, like thematically, align in a way
Mm.
that is just insane to me. It's crazy that like the Acolyte got discontinued, and then this is sort of
It's
rising
still up
up
there.
in
It's
its
like
place
number-
as sort of like
Yeah.
covering
Yeah.
that same ground of dark side.
all
People are
those
still
actors
watching
are
it.
still around. Leslie Headland, just waiting for a phone call.
The
Yeah.
dark side's super interesting. We just haven't really covered that side of the Force, so it's cool that this show's doing that.
Yeah.
And the Devon stuff. Are we at the Devon stuff fighting the Inquisitors? Are we?
Oh, well, I think first we get Maul revealing to Devon that Darth
right.
Sidious is the Emperor.
Yes.
Yeah, huge.
And he's
Yeah.
like, use your hate. Like, he's just taking a little moment to be like, oh, here's the most devastating thing you've ever learned. How you feeling? You
My
want to
master was Darth
Sidious?
Sidious, and he made himself the Emperor.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
devastating to hear.
Yeah. He killed all the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or, what I
Yeah.
forget. It was more poetic than that. But
Yeah.
yeah, he executed the whole Jedi Order. And then it was like,
I love that because I have this theory that like in a Star Wars, like in a really quality Star Wars, a dark side character needs to tell a light side character the truth
Yeah.
about something. And like it's just my own like little theory, but and it's probably not even, it's a broad, I'm sure everyone understands this to be an interesting complexity, but it's like
Yeah.
that idea to me, and that moment was just like, this is a truth that he's relaying it to her, and it's he's not hiding anything in that moment. It's not like a double cross. It's just the truth.
Just using the truth. to
Dooku does
manipulate.
it to Obi-Wan in
Yep.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Vader does it with Luke in The Empire Strikes Back. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously, like giving real information, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
your father, and then, what if I told you a Dark Lord ruled over the Senate, the galaxy or whatever. It's funny because Kylo does it in The Last Jedi, but it's the truth actually doesn't really matter because it's just a throwaway. It doesn't matter at all. It's like about her parents just being, in a pauper's grave. It's like, even if that's true, like we have no precedent for that mattering to the story. It doesn't matter really,
Right.
Yeah.
does it? Like
well, it
that
matters
truth,
to the character at the time.
Yeah.
yeah, it matters to the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones are like true information that like the audience is kind of in on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are we in on it? I mean, we're not in on it in episode 5. Until like
yeah, I mean that was like one of the biggest.
I think because it's so personal, it works, and it's also like
I think I don't know. Do we have time to do
like
this?
it matters.
I think the Pauper's Grave thing works if they actually decided to do that.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because I found it pretty devastating. I found it pretty effective in the film when it happened, and then you know.
Well, both things can be true.
Sure,
but like we as the audience didn't know that was the case.
But we didn't know that. But we didn't know that Vader was Luke's father in the case.
Yeah,
we only know that through hindsight.
I think you start to.
I think you're doing 40 years of history. I think you're retconning 40 years of history, because if you talk to people at the time you saw that, the biggest thing they talked about for 3 years was Vader lying or was Vader telling the truth? Like that was the biggest pop culture discussion amongst teenagers and kids for like 3 years, was like, is that true? Is he really his father? Like, so.
Yeah, 77 to 80.
Yeah.
Wild time. We get
you're correct. That's true. It's for me, it was just like I at that moment in the story, and like this happens now with Maul and Devin, I was like it worked with what Maul was telling Devin, because it was
100%.
devastating truth that we understand, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how those are delivered in all movies.
Yeah. So we get Docky gets a dub, which is like probably like they've been slow playing his death all season. We've known he's gonna die the whole time. He gets a dub against Marak. He like force pushes him into the mists, and we don't see him again. Was the trailer a lie, or
yes.
are we seeing season 2 there?
No, it was a lie. It was I gotta watch it, but it was just editing. It was an editing trick, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but I know because I remember the editing seemed to have come from, I think, when they were on the train, like 3 or 4 episodes ago, if I remember that scene. Like, because I remember when I was watching going, oh, well, clearly that didn't happen yet, and everything since then's been like fighting during the day or not. I know. So it was just an editing trick, and I mean, he's not dead, right? I mean, like, no one dies from pushing the mist.
Well, that guy doesn't really die much.
Yeah,
I mean, he does. He seems. We know he comes back later, so
yeah,
he can die as many times as he wants. Yeah. So then Maul makes his move, and Lawson sees it. He's wounded. He's scared. He hears Devin cry out from somewhere else, so he knows she's nearby, but probably not watching. And he shoves Docky into Vader and runs off to meet up with Devin. But yeah, I mean, up till then, though, like he had been very supportive of Docky, and like really did things he didn't need to do to protect Docky. And it's just it was a bummer, and then he just saw his opportunity and he just acted and did his thing. What did you guys feel about that moment where he shoved Docky into Vader? I mean,
so 2 things. One, I love it. I mean, it seems like a Maul move. I appreciate it. It's 1 or 2. Second, completely unnecessary. I've watched this now 5 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And they were still fighting. Like, it's not like Docky was running away. Like, he was still facing Vader. So I was just kind of like, what was the point? So sorry, I think it looked cool, but I'm still not quite sure why that changed anything.
Right. It's like if you just walked away, like you kind of knew what was going to go on, but it was maybe just to, I don't know, break Docky's spirit a little bit.
Yeah, close the gap between the two of them, make the fighting. I don't know. It's interesting.
Because Docky knew what was going on. He's like, you're scheming after my Padawan.
Yeah.
And he's like,
you could sense Devin's sort of building rage, I felt.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the ruins fighting the Inquisitors.
When Docky dies, you sort of see his eyes, and what I read was he's just like, oh, she's gonna fall to the dark side, and that's his last thought, and he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I failed her. Yeah.
Yeah. The Maul pushing Docky it made a lot of sense, right? It's like faster, easier, more seductive, the dark side. It's like that quick window of, I can get rid of this Jedi Master, and then I can have, I can start to really sort of manipulate the Padawan.
It's true. The other thing that's interesting is we don't actually see the killing blow in terms of, like, we don't see the blow itself. We see the lightsaber through Docky, but I think it's really fascinating that they don't actually show how I liked it. I thought it was more devastating, right? And actually more shocking
Yeah.
that way, to just, you cut back and suddenly, and the lightsaber's through him.
Yeah, because we cut to Devin, and Devin
Yeah.
senses something, and then she sees him dead.
That was a devastating scene too, right? Where she's
Yeah.
like, Master, and she's running to. That was
that
was tough.
And then she gets her Anakin with the Sand People moment.
Yeah, immediately picks up a red blade, or like takes or accepts the red blade. Yeah.
Well,
Gets
we're
Maul's
gonna
red
get
blade.
there.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, so she screams and does all the things, crashes all the way out. She's still fighting 11th brother. I kind of forgot. I'm like, how did they get separated? But whatever.
I did like when Docky. Did we talk about Docky throwing his saber to Devin at one point? That was another incredible action moment. I just don't want to. We're past that at this point, but
we are. But it was so great because it showed how in tune they were with each other, and like. You know, how much he cares about his Padawan, knew exactly what she needed at exactly the right moment. Even more heartbreaking when you put it in context. But yeah, she really cared about her master, clearly. Like, they were as tight as master apprentice go. And both like great Jedi, but it's just like, you put him up against Vader and on the entire Empire, and you got a tough row to hoe there, kid. Oh yeah, so all right, so you're right. So that does kind of actually happen next. So she fights, they're there, Maul's there. Dude, I just think it's kind of the meme of the whole season is the cut. So she loses her lightsaber, she's on the ground, she's full dark side at this point. She has a moment. Maul emerges with one half of his lightsaber, his half of the lightsaber, actually. I forget what the other half is. It might be Savage's, but it does look familiar to me. But it's a banged up lightsaber, but he gives her his half from like his original lightsaber. He just holds it up and he's like, "You want a red blade?" And
that was awesome.
And she
takes it. And then you get the iconic scene of those two together with their red blades facing off against 11th brother. And she chases him and he leads her straight to Vader. Another ceiling crashes on Vader, but we get a little variation on that. And then they escape. I thought it was interesting. She wanted to go after Vader in that moment. Yeah. Like, it makes me wonder. I'm like, did she have a shot? I don't think so.
No, but it was anger, right? It was just the anger and rage. But she would have anger. Immediately. Yeah. He would have taken her down immediately. And then we got you want to talk Lawson's for a second?
Yeah, let's talk Lawson's.
Oh yeah, Lawson's. Yeah.
So interesting parallel. Both of our teenage characters lose their father figures, basically. Though I just rewatched the Lawson scene. He might not be dead. He might actually be.
We didn't hear a cry out. We didn't see him take a shot.
Yeah. Another one. He got shot in the shoulder, and then he was going in to the mist. And I was watching very closely because you see all the blasters go, but you never actually see him get hit. You never see him fall down. You just see him walk into the mist. So
it's also like you said, when they collapse time with Docky's death, they also sort of like are cutting around with Lawson against the tree. And who's to say that he doesn't come back in season 2 and tell Devin what Maul did? You know what I mean? Like, to cause maximum.
Interesting.
Drama.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. There's a reason why you had Lawson witness that scene, right? There's a reason why. So that makes a ton of sense.
I missed that my first viewing, Grant, but you mentioned it in our texts. And then the second time I watched it, that was absolutely what they did. It was like he pushes Docky. Docky's like, oh, like, what's going on? And they cut immediately to Lawson's in a tree. And he looks and he sees it. You see over his shoulder. And he sees what's happening, and he just sighs because he's like, of course, I was waiting for this. I knew this was coming.
The guy I said would betray us just betrayed us.
Yeah.
He was saying it the entire, yes.
And, I think you're not that obvious without it if you're not going to play that card later down the line.
Yeah, and then when he's, uses the E-Web, also, like, to see an E-Web blow up an Imperial landing shuttle was incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. The Lambda class.
Yeah.
When Two Boots takes out the Lambda class, because it's like they teased it a little. He's like, I'm going to do this. And then like the shuttle flies out of screen and it flies around for a little bit. And then it comes back and then you're like, oh yeah. And like Two Boots.
That was awesome.
That was sick. And then you get the heavy move where he's holding the E-Web. I just feel like in my head I was in like naval like training with the Empire, and they're like, it is vitally important that the enemy doesn't get a hold of this weapon.
Yeah, like self-destruct this thing. It's just too powerful.
Yeah, there needs to be a kill switch on this. Like, you can't let the, because it's like, how many times have we seen like, you know, someone else take control of an E-web and then just destroy the Empire with it?
Yeah. Lawson gets hit in the shoulder and then the thigh and then walks into the mist. We don't know if he's dead or not.
Nah.
Yeah. And so then we have, you know, them escaping with Dryden Voss. And then so we're left with Vario. Interesting. Riley.
On my bingo card of people who would have made it out of the season alive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley, Maul, Devin, and Two Boots are the survivors that are moving on, which is kind of a wild cadre. What do you think about those guys? That team?
I appreciate that they kind of cleared the deck in terms of, I don't know. I like that we built. I mean, we talk about, right, that Star Wars is always about building a new ensemble, right? Building their core group. And if you told me this season this would be the 5 people on a ship leaving, I was like, what are you talking about? But now I'm like, I'm ready for this. Like, I want to watch. Like, Two Boots is great. You need them there. It's so funny that the 2 comic relief characters made it through. And it showed very dire, and they decided to, like, of the 5, 2 of them are jokey jokes.
Yeah, I'm glad we get more Richard Ayo on it. Because he just played like that Zero droid in one episode of The Mandalorian, and we didn't get like a lot of them, and so this is cool to get Two Boots going on.
Yeah, Spybot was comic relief too.
I know.
Rest in peace.
I feel like Two Boots is actually also sad when Spybot died. You do get a Two Boots
really strong
reaction shot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Spybot felt like he could jam like the comms of like an entire area and like sort of like be like create crazy, you know, plot dynamics for the heroes or the main characters.
Yeah, he was so OP, man. We talked about it in the first couple of episodes. We're like, whoa, who is this droid? Like, he could do anything. But Two Boots is just as capable. Vario, it's interesting to keep his POV going. He's really funny. Riley, I think, is the most fascinating one. Like, he could go in so many different directions. Like, is he going to be virtuous like his father? Is he going to become a mercenary? Like, what would, you know, is he going to, I guess, be taken to his mother, but he's going to tell his mom, like, you know, the Empire just killed Dad. Like, you know,
he thinks the Empire just killed his dad for sure.
Yeah.
That's what he thinks. Yeah.
So, like, what was he happy to see his mom again? Probably not.
And I don't know if he's going to see his mom. Because they have to know, the Empire knows the connection, right?
Yeah.
So she might be gone in some.
She might not be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, Mandalorian, is he going to turn into a Mandalorian? Right now he's an orphan now. Like,
or he'll join Crimson Dawn essentially.
Yeah. I mean, all the Mandos. There's no Mandos on that ship.
It's true. They're all gone.
But I love that call though.
I just like the commentary of
those guys that died. They were really cool.
The commentary of sort of like the political line between mother and son, and sort of like the mom is so invested in the Empire and her work-life balance favors work, and the son is like, no, you don't understand, the Empire killed Dad. And she's like, no, but you don't understand, like, I am a top official and this is serious.
Yeah, I mean, is she like, oh my God, and like understand her son and is like, I can't be with these fascists? Or does that flip her?
That's what I'm talking about. That could be fascinating if there's sort of a push-pull there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you'd hope that she just immediately, gets him into hiding, or, sort of figures a way to expunge it on the record and hide Riley or whatever. Make sure Riley's not traced to that event.
My gut says that he never makes it. I think he's with this squad, and he's stuck in the underground, and he evolves, and he's like, you know what, I can use a blaster. And I mean, that would be really cool if we see sort of the rise of a bounty hunter His father did some bounty hunting, maybe he knows some bounty hunters.
But it's so obvious, like there's such a mythic aspect to Star Wars, and like they're Lawsons, they're law sons, they're justice, they're like followers of the law, they're detectives. These are justice oriented characters. So Riley's just gonna be a detective like his dad, because there's sort of mythological connotation to all the Star Wars characters and the naming.
Yeah, I agree. This actually makes you call back to that narrator from the concert. And because what happened is like he's telling it very fast. He's telling the story extremely fast. And I felt like an Ewok in a hut listening to C-3PO, like very much so, just with like big eyes, like, yes. And like when you hear the story recounted from a theatrical actor in a theatrical way, it is very mythological, and you do sort of see how all the pieces fit together through the whole Star Wars saga. And if you're sort of thinking about all the myths you've been exposed to, and mythology you've been exposed to from all the different mythologies there are, and you're watching, you're listening to someone talk about Star Wars, it does fit very well. It's far-fetched and it's wild, and we can all talk about direction and motivation, but yeah, you're right, Grant. It's a mythological story, and it makes sense that the Law Sons would be lawful for the long
forces,
run. Yeah.
But Riley being Crimson Dawn is actually fascinating. I do like how Star Wars will also throw a wrench in sort of some sort of legacy plotting as well. Yeah. Be like, no, this person's going to be the complete, antithesis, essentially. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's also mythological in its way.
Right. Yeah.
They're telling new stories. They've got to create new myths, and I think that's Lucasfilm's biggest burden.
Yeah. I mean, you can also do the mythical storytelling of he falls to the quote unquote dark side, right? In terms of like becoming part of Crimson Dawn. And when his father's still alive, that pulls him back to the light, right? You can tell that.
And that gives you like 3 seasons, right? That gives you like 3-4 seasons. That's a lot of story you could do with the Riley stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, we've got 8 years until we meet, Darth Maul in Solo. So they've got a lot of runway here with this show, and I wouldn't be surprised if they milked it, and I hope they do.
It's also the coming of age story too, with Devin and Riley sort of sharing that they're the youth characters.
And telling 2 separate sides of the story in terms of like Devin's going to be the Force side of the story, learning about the dark side, and Devin's going to be learning about Crimson Dawn side, right? Learning about Riley's going to be learning about Crimson Dawn.
And that's both sides of the fandom too, right? Because there's some of us who like our Force lightsaber stuff, and there's some of us that are like, whoa, what are these gadgets, and what are these antiques, and what's it like walking around in the Crimson Dawn hideouts? What's Riley up to? All that stuff.
Yeah, it's both those things, and you could see light side, dark. I mean, the most important part is we've got full dark side Devin. She's looking at the lightsaber. She's fuming. She hates herself. She has the like crash out that like Anakin does after he kills the Sand People. But she's just like, I'm in it now.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You can see the acting, going on in the animation, and ultimately is like she says, "I'm ready." And that's how
are we gonna get? Yeah, okay. This is the "I'm ready." That was such a great button on the entire series. Basically, that's sort of what it was all building towards. One of the better endings, I think, of an animated series in terms of dialogue.
Yeah, totally. Did its job. I'm very excited about season 2.
Yeah. Yep. Already greenlit. We're gonna get it. And
So do we think there's a rematch with Devin and Vader? Like, do we think do you think Devin's sights are on Vader because he killed Daki?
Yep. I mean, that's the Padme Amidala lure that sticks in her mouth.
So isn't the most like ultimate rev your fist moment Palpatine and Vader, Lords of the Sith style, v Devin and Maul? Like,
oof. That's a short fight, dude.
Yeah, that is a short fight. That's Palpatine just wiping.
Devin has a ton of skills, and like I think she's going to be taught how to use her anger in a more constructive way, and I think she's going to like power jump immensely. I think there might be a little bit of a time jump we get here, because we know, like, we don't need to see Maul kill another gang leader. Like, I think a time jump for a couple of years might be cool, or a year or something, and they're, she's full dark side, and she's, flexing, and they're a thing. I don't know. But yeah.
I like a time jump, but the Riley stories felt so pressing in terms of getting Riley to his mom, and I was just like, it's like we're gonna continue. I like the idea of a time jump because I like the idea of like maybe Devin is mad at Maul for maybe how Maul treated Riley and Two Boots and whatever happened a year ago or something.
Yeah.
Like, I like that idea because then there's like all this friction between them, but she's also learning from him how to survive and how to, fight with more aggression and I don't know, dark side stuff.
Would Voss let them leave, like Two Boots and Riley? I don't think so.
No,
because they're witness to his scheme here. I don't know, unless it happens quickly and he's just like, yeah, get out of here, kids, scram. But I don't know. I don't, that could be who Dryden Voss is, but it felt sort of like in Solo, like as soon as you do a deal with Dryden Voss, you're in for the rest of your life.
I felt like season 2 to me, like after the end of this and sort of the messaging and what the plotting is, it's like, I imagine Maul is going to go forward with Dryden's plan to kill Rentaro, but it's so obvious what happens after that is that Maul's like, oh, I'm now head of Crimson Dawn. Like, you can now, you'll take orders from me now. It's so obvious that Dryden is just played. Like, it's not played, but maybe there's a seat of power that he wants that's a lot, side by side with Maul. I don't know.
That's why I said, like, I thought that Dryden was kind of simping for Maul, where he knows the deal. Like, he knows he'll have to answer to Maul, but he'll be ultimately the controller of Crimson Dawn. And like that's how I read it. Was sort of like he saw what happened with the other guy, and he's like, I want to be that dude that steps into my leader's shoes when the he takes revenge against the head of my syndicate. That's kind of it, like he knew what was going on, and he's like, that's what I want. I want that right there. And
I feel like Dryden's gonna be pinned against a wall by Maul, and he's really gonna have the fear sort of baked into him.
Yeah. I
think he's like, you'll know who you have to answer to Kira in Solo or something. Like, doesn't he say something at some point alluding to the boss character?
Yeah.
And there's sort of fear surrounding that, or there is sort of like, you have to answer to him and it's worse than me or something. I forget what he says, but
I like the idea of that, like, Maul isn't just running Crimson Dawn.
Right.
He's the Shadow Lord over all the syndicates, and he is the one pulling all the strings of all the syndicates. So it's like, yeah, like Dryden Voss's role isn't unique. There's one of them for every syndicate, and he's more than happy to step into that role.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot, like, Maul doesn't care about money. He cares about power, and Dryden cares about money.
Yes. Yeah.
And, I mean, and power over his syndicate, but he's just like, we're going to be the best syndicate ever, like, with me running it. And he just wants to,
But like season 2, you almost imagine it's going to be, let's take out the Rentaro guy. It's like, or maybe episode 1. I don't know. Early, right? And then Maul assumes control, really, of Crimson Dawn. Then we're going to get Kira eventually, which is going to be great. When does Kira enter the picture?
It's going to be a minute.
It's like years from now, right?
No, because I feel like there was a time jump. Oh, there was a time jump.
At least a few years, right?
Yeah. Like the beginning of Solo, we know she gets sold immediately into Crimson Dawn.
Right.
There was a novel. It was about that we read. I don't know if it was like a younger reader sort of novel, but that was also a good novel, actually, about their sort of underworld antics. And she's like exposed to, at the end of the novel, she's essentially conscripted into Crimson Dawn.
Yeah. That's right.
And I'd have to look that up, but I think actually the timing, we might get some Kira season 2. But she's pretty low level, like,
but she's also fairly young, right? Which would be interesting to pair her up with Devin and Riley.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I kind of want to see him move on and then like control another syndicate, whether it be Black Sun, probably, not the Hutts, I guess.
Right. But that's a good point. We may not get as much Crimson Dawn as we think we're going to get.
Right, but he needs more than the Pikes in Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
Maybe not. maybe that's where it sort of ends, but I just feel like if he can take over all of Mandalore, like he can take over 3 or 4 crime syndicates. Who am I missing?
Black Sun.
Pikes, Huts,
Black Sun,
Black Sun, Crimson Dawn, and we had the same
there
problem.
Are a few.
We had the same problem the other night. Adam, I looked it up.
5, right?
Yeah, and it's like the Chrysalis, or like it's like some weird name.
It's always the
Crymora.
The
Crymora.
Crymora.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There's more in Outlaws though. I thought too. There's new ones.
Yeah, well, so it's like he establishes the 5, and there are like 5 boss syndicates that sort of run things, and that was one of the 5s was with the Crymora, but then it evolves Droid Gatra. Like I don't know.
There's one more that's like Coruscant based. That's amazing. I just forget the name.
Yeah, so it does change over time. So I'd like to see some of that. But yeah, just to sort of reestablish the 5, I think would be cool, and have him pulling the strings on all of them would be, I don't know, kind of fun. But if it just ends up being those 2,
you do almost want him to sort of collect more houses or rally more, syndicates to the cause, essentially.
Yeah, he's going after the king, man. He's going after the emperor. So he needs them all, sort of.
And you need to see him rise up to do that and fail miserably, right? Like, because he has to. Yeah. So he rises up to do that, try to take out the emperor, fails miserably. Devin.
It leaves him.
Like, Devin is such an interesting character. I'm most excited about Devin. I almost feel like the entire show is basically a vehicle to give us one new character that's incredibly cool. Yeah. And I think that's like, it's probably the best thing, best way I can recommend the show to new fans or people who want to check out the animation. It's like, this show is just an incredible Trojan horse for what is a very cool character, and sort of like we are going to see a character sort of probably dip into the dark side. Like, I think we're almost guaranteed at least dipping into it, learning a bit about the using her aggression in combat, things like that. But at the same time, her fate is actually incredibly interesting, because she could go a number of different ways. And we know that, like, there's old Lucas scripts where it's like his sequel scripts. There's a character that's a Twi'lek that is sort of like a lady, a Sith lady, like instead of the Lord title.
Yeah,
like,
it's about time, right?
It's a new way to depict the Sith. It's a very cool character, and that character sort of seduces one of the sort of like solo Skywalker kids in his drafts, and we know Dave Filoni loves sort of Lucas's sort of original ideas, and he also loves some of the Legends material that he thought worked very well, like the Zahn stuff, and he does sort of, and even Legends stuff, like from Knights of the Old Republic. Like, Filoni is grabbing some of that stuff as well. I think he's grabbing all the things that he thinks work, and I think there's stuff about the character that George maybe wanted to explore that works, but at the same time, I think Filoni's just the perfect person to sort of build that character out and make them modern, and make it work, and make it feel natural. And also, like, who's to say, like, you can't do some of the George stuff again with, like, earlier in the timeline, much like Heir to the Empire is taking place earlier in the timeline than what we thought was sort of the post Return of the Jedi story. And we could also just get maybe characters like Ezra could be the sort of stand-in for maybe the Lucas script sort of character or something, like, and you do some stuff with Devin in the future, and you do bring that character forward, and Filoni's making Ahsoka season 2. Why wouldn't he want another fun character to sort of bring into the Ahsoka universe? Like, he's already really, like, doubled down on aliens, and they're only improving the technology to make them look cooler and cooler, to like the point where
they have a ways to go on Twi'leks, by the way.
They do. Yeah, I agreed. I think
they look the rubberiest of all the live action.
I really do think they just need to mocap the head tails and stuff. Yeah. Like, it almost needs to not be a piece. But I love practical effects, but I just want to experiment and see what that looks like.
Or they just need a new material that seems more organic than just like obvious like foam like moldings.
That's where if they do like. First of all, I don't even think Devin's going to be close to sort of going the route the George Lucas scripts character. I think it'll be a completely new design and new way forward. But if she does adopt the sort of Maul tattooing, that could be a way to hide sort of the head tail design that doesn't look great sometimes. It looks kind of like a bizarre sort of a.
It looks like what it is, really.
It does.
Yeah.
Like foam rubber, like whatever. It's
You're
wild.
shooting in like 8K. It's like, I'm sorry, it's just gonna look like foam rubber head.
Well, and they keep making this choice. Like they're obsessed with Twi'leks, so, which is always funny to me. I'm like, you're making this choice. You don't have to. You can do other aliens that you have better special effects with. But okay, keep doing that. Maybe you'll get it right.
Because Twi'leks are almost like, they're sort of like one of the main species that you see in storytelling. It's like there's always like a major character that's a Twi'lek in most tales, which is it's they're commonplace.
And Rosario's Dawson's headpiece doesn't look much better.
I just tried to rewatch Ahsoka the other day, and it was tough. The headpiece was tough.
Yeah.
It's too big in the back too. I was like, this is the back part is massive, and I was like, how do you fight with that? Like that just felt. It didn't feel aerodynamic to me. I feel like Ahsoka as a character is very aerodynamic, even though there is sort of a frill nature to her head tails.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm excited to see more Devin. I think you're exactly right. She's a fantastic character. I stand by my thing that I want her to introduce us to a wider world of dark side users. I think that would she'd be a great vehicle for that. And like, by going on this other path, this alternate path, then we can learn about, that can lead into things that take us all the way into the post Rise of Skywalker era. And that would be really fun for me, just to be like, okay, there's new Darksiders and they're out there and there's a bunch of them. And and she's a great character, man.
Yeah, I do think, as Yoda said, we are what they grow beyond. I do think she is going to grow beyond Maul, and she's going to stand over him and be like, I have conquered whatever this stage of my life is with you, and I'm sort of moving on from that. I do think that is inevitable.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and it's also like, but I don't think she pities or sympathizes with Maul. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like I think she does, because like, wouldn't she not spare him at that point or something? I don't know. Embrace the dark side.
Yeah, she probably would.
But she's Jedi. Like, she's gonna like. There's a piece I think Filoni's gonna do brilliantly is sort of like weave this, like, there's a gleaming Jedi heart at the center of the character, where I don't think the character is a Sith per se. You know what I mean? This character is
I mean, I think
Jedi survivor essentially, but like maybe the most badass one essentially, because I already think she's more badass than Cal Kestis some of the other characters.
Yeah, I wonder if her big turn back, or wherever she's going to turn, is going to be on what's the name of the Sith planet? I can't think of it. Where he's
Moraband.
Korriban.
Yeah, the canon version's Moraband.
Yeah, right. Right. We know that Maul ends up on that planet, right? And so it's just like, maybe this is when she has her turn and just strands him there. Like,
and he's like, this is all part of my plan.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes, but I feel like that could be 4 seasons away.
Yes. Yeah, that's
3 seasons away.
Yeah. That's probably like the series finale, to be honest.
Yeah.
Stranding him on Moraband. Yeah.
It's fascinating that he's on Moraband, though, because maybe Devin and Maul were looking into Sith artifacts or Sith relics. Or
the two of them would have been able to open that Sith temple together.
That's key, I think. That's incredibly important that you just mentioned that, because I feel like that is why is Maul stranded there when there's a temple that requires like a sort of a master and apprentice to unlock it? He clearly has been abandoned. But then why that planet? Like, sort of, is it just sort of like, is it sort of like to insult Maul and be like, oh, you're Sith, or you're the dark side, you can dwell on the Sith, home world, and that's where I'll leave you?
I don't know.
I'm confused. I'm confused why it's that planet.
I feel like he went there on purpose by himself, knowing like he's gone from like, I'm done being the aggressor. I'm gonna let like the dark side provide. And like, there's some part of him that's just like, if I just wait there, another like Jedi user will come along and I'll be able to turn them and we'll be able to harness this power. And I don't know. I could see him. You know, I do think he's going to be ostracized. I don't know, defeated, abandoned by Devin. But I think like this is going to be some weird long con that he conjures in his mind is the right play. And I mean, we know if anything, he doesn't need food. He doesn't need like anything. He just needs his rage. So he can just go to this barren planet and wait in this carcass of a, you know, temple and for serendipity to arrive, for the Force to provide him a new apprentice. And that's what we get in Ezra Bridger. That's, I don't know. That's just kind of the way I read it, which is kind of wild, but yeah, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, like, you watch the original trilogy and Yoda's like, you know, when I die, the last Jedi you will be, to Luke. And it's like, you know, I mean, I guess Kanan, or I guess Ezra's out there. Like, there are other Jedi out there. And like,
Right.
it's always hard
Right.
to just think like in that moment there are other Jedi. Like, I always liked that I like that Yoda's lines maybe are the truth in that moment, but
Maybe they, I mean, but like the Jedi are a formal order. They're
but I only
they're
say
a
that
set
because
of
I worry
ideals.
about Devin. Like, what's Devin's future if like
Not a
she's not
Jedi.
going to identify as a Jedi, right? I imagine.
I don't think she ever will again.
Why though? I don't think she's jaded on the Jedi as an ideal. I think she's just like, this doesn't fit the times, you know, we live in.
Exactly. And so it's like she's had to evolve into something else. And I still think, you know, according to Yoda, that being a Jedi is a strict doctrine, and she's moved beyond that. You know, Ahsoka moved beyond that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, also like Balin's Skull and Shin Hati are out there in the galaxy too.
yeah.
It's true.
Did Balin's Skull and Shin Hati give Marok a wolf name, and that's why like he never really had a name until they named him? Is he a pet?
No, he's not involved. I don't think they're involved with Palpatine's like Inquisitorius. I think they're just
No, but
No, maybe they found him
like
after.
trust
Boken
each other.
Jedi.
Yeah, like
Oh,
'cause-
okay.
Yeah, what
I'm
is
not too sure.
Marok? Like, it feels like 11th brother and first brother were kind of found first. Like, I'm convinced the 11th brother is actually like an avian species. Like, he is actually part bird, and like that's where he gets his psychometry. Is like some sort of intuition through his species.
Do you guys think Devin as a character is going to survive past the original trilogy and appear in the sort of like Mando versus Ahsoka New Republic period? Or do you think that character, if they survive, is going to appear again in sort of the Rey New Jedi Order films as sort of like this fun character that saw the fall of the Jedi? So it provides commentary of like what, like as you're building a new Jedi, right? Like the story will, I imagine, be about sort of a new Jedi doctrine, right? And sort of a new temple. Wasn't it fun to then juxtapose that with someone who lived through the old doctrine and then is like, maybe they're like, you can't do this again or something, and they're like a villain. Like, I don't know, like, that could be really fun. But like, do you think this character will appear again in either of those timelines?
Bro, you're talking about 50 plus years in the future.
Yeah. Yes.
And like, I want that, but yeah, I mean, but she would be an old wizened.
No, I'm talking like 30 years in the future, and then I'm talking like 60 years in the future, 50 years in the future, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I would, I think the answer is yes. Either of those things would work, but I prefer her in the sort of Rey verse.
That would be my preference as well. And I feel like, yes, it would be a long time, but I don't know, what, 50 something years, that would make her 66, you know, which is 60 something, which is relatively young for Star Wars. Plus if she is a dark side user, right? I feel like, you know, the dark side has, you know, pathways to, you know.
We get Darth Talon, she's tatted up, but everything's kind of wrinkly and saggy.
But I like this idea of just, she's not like, yes, she wants to stop Rey from starting the Jedi Academy just because she doesn't want, like, she saw what happened with the Jedi, right? Like, she thinks it's a failing way to do it. I don't know, it'd be interesting. Yeah.
She's like a boomer being like, no, but yeah.
Didn't work for me.
I also have Filoni as the chief creative officer. It's like my only reason I'm sort of like pitching the idea. I mean, like, you know, who's going to decide who the villain of the Rey films is? You know,
it's going to be Filoni, and here he is creating this new dark side character. Like, I don't know, 2 and 2 together, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Cool, man.
Could be, right? Who knows? We don't know.
We don't know.
we don't know either, but like just look at his history with Ahsoka, right? Like, come on.
That's why I think Devin's gonna pop up in Ahsoka season 2 or something.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think it'd be more because she'd be sort of in her prime around the Ahsoka verse and
makes sense.
Mandoverse and but and then he's gonna leave some real estate for whoever the creative ends up being. That's sort of dictating.
It's also a good counter for Ahsoka because you have the Maul counter in the Clone Wars, and it's like poetry rhymes. It's sort of like Devin fights Ahsoka. It's just whatever.
Yeah, they're destined to fight, right? Though Shin Hati and Bail and Skull are two of my favorite characters.
Those characters are so sad. When I was rewatching Ahsoka the other day, I was like, these characters are dynamite. And like Filoni, it was so nice that Filoni was sort of like just giving us all that fun Jedi robed Jedi stuff. Like I love a hood up sort of Jedi. Like
right. I mean, if we think
landing
about it,
craftsy.
Filoni gets it, right? Like I mean, he's been killing like having dark side, like we need more dark side users in this world. Like it can't all be about the light side. And he's brought a bunch around, and that's kind of fun. All right, well, I'm looking forward. We have Star Wars Low Red Moon to talk about. I don't know if that'll be next week or it'll be something else. We might catch up on some more comics or a game, something to lighten the load. But I know we'll be talking about Maul for a long time, and pretty soon, 2 weeks away, we get Mandalorian and Grogu. So
basically we have one episode before we'll cover that. So
perhaps we do a little Mando rewatch, and
that sounds like a great idea.
I literally just pressed play on season 1, episode 1 while I was doing the dishes and got 2 minutes into it. But I'm planning on starting my rewatch. So yeah.
I mean, I'm always down for a Mando rewatch. So maybe we talk about that and sort of get primed up for
Mando primer.
Yeah,
like it.
I heard Adam, you and I chatted about this. I don't know if it was on the main thing or not, but there was a preview, like a first act preview on May the 4th for some select viewers, I guess. And allegedly what we've seen in the trailers is all first act stuff. So
that made me very excited to hear, because that's always what I want from a trailer.
Yeah.
Just get me Jones, because then I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of it. And
I hope there's a big surprise in this movie.
I feel like there's a giant, I think they're sitting on a really big something in there. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll talk about that next week. We're going to get amped up next week for Mandalorian and Grogu. That'll be great. Thanks very much for listening to us. This has been a blast. You're the best. We'll talk to you next week on Cantina Chronicles.